get out of. We revisit and relive so many things in our history that when destiny offers us an opportunity to love again, to connect with people. The sad thing about unforgiveness and resentment and hurt, it isolates us from other people. But there's power in people. Your destiny is found in people. Your connection to the world is through people and what you have to offer and contribute. There was something given to you to bless the world. Even in Vasayo, you have an opportunity to bless thousands and millions and hundreds of people in your neighborhood. But if you're so tied up thinking in your mind that people are going to take advantage of you, and you keep revisiting all the hurts, you nurse them, you curse them, and rehearse them. I need to write a book using that, by the way. That's a good idea. We never disperse them so that God can reverse them. We hold on to that pain and we stew in that pain, and that pain becomes a prison where noble things die. I've seen opportunities where people have amazing assets on their hands, great opportunities, rich resources, but the thing that ties them up is their ability to love and connect with people. They can't get out of their own way because they got tied up and hurt by what somebody else did to them. It might have happened to you, but I don't believe it has to continue to live in through you.
Amen.
Why do I say that? Because my wife was raped by a pastor. My wife lived on a bed for 9.5 months fighting for sanity in her brain. And one day, in the midst of really fighting and just suffering internally, she had an experience where God communicated to her in a really powerful way and said, listen, Katrina, things happen to you, but they never touched the real you because you never gave them permission. They happen to you, but they don't have to live in you. And you're free when you choose to let them go and release them. You never let them off God's hook, but you let them off your hook so that you can live fully engaged with your heart, with your love and passion. You know, I came across a story not long ago of a woman in South Africa. And it's a powerful story that she lived in the ghetto area. And she had a son, her and her husband had one son. And at that time, it was before Nelson Mandela had taken office, and there was a lot of racism going on and white people killing black people. And as a result, these white officers showed up at this woman's house. They took her son, they watched, he was an athlete and things, and he wanted to be things, but they hated the fact that it's the color of his skin. They took him outside in the front of his mom and his dad, and they shot him point blank range, calling him names that represented a skin color they didn't approve of. They went on right there in front of the mom and dad, true story, and burned him alive while the officers partied, and they could do nothing about it. The parents went over and over into the reconciliation of South America, to the police, and said, give us justice, give us liberty, and for many times they would not. In fact, a year and a half later, those same officers, Vanderbroek, he showed back up at the house. This time they took the husband. And for a whole year, they could not locate and find the husband. The woman kept going, listen, they took my husband, they killed my son, and no one would pay attention to her. They took her one day, and she came after a year and a half of her husband being gone, and they took her to where her husband was laid there on a bunch of wood. They strapped his body to a bunch of wood out by a lake, and they poured gasoline all over him and lit him on fire, calling him names for no reason, no crime committed, nothing done. And as they were lighting him on fire, the husband reached out, Father, forgive them. That was the last words she heard from her husband. After many, many attempts to engage, they found people to look into the case. They tried them, and they were they said absolutely they're guilty. But they do something in reconciliation in South Africa. They let the person that's had the unjust experience communicate. And they said, ma'am, would you like to communicate and address these officers that have done this horrific thing to you, that have stolen your most prized possessions, your family? They all hung their heads. Vanderbroek and the other officers, they had confessed to it when they had enough evidence to convict them. They were trying to hope for a lesser sentence. And the woman stood up and she said, I have 3 things, Judge. These are the 3 things that I want. Number 1, I want an officer to take me to where my husband's remains are. And I want to give my husband a proper burial because he was a loving man. He was a good man. He was a caring man. They said, absolutely. Number 2, I want to look at Mr. Vanderbroek, and I want to tell you today that, sir, I forgive you. This is the wishes of me and my husband, that I forgive you. You took away from me the very thing that I loved, the very thing that I cared about. But I want you to know today I forgive you, because the great part about me is I'm not educated, she told the courtroom. She was, I don't have skills, I don't have any means, I don't have money, I don't have things. But one thing I know how to do is I know how to love people, and you took away from me the very thing I know how to love. But I realize that if I don't forgive and release and let you go, that I'm going to be able to I will have to hide the very best parts of myself. So, Judge, I'm asking that today I would be able to adopt Officer Vanderbroek as my very own child. Listen to me, Judge. I don't have very many skills, like I just said, but weekly, can you bring an appointment to have officers bring Mr. Vanderbroek to my house so I have someone to pour out my love upon? See, I don't have very much, but I don't want to lose the lover inside of me, because if I lose the lover inside of me, I don't live anymore. If I don't connect with somebody and share my heart, my passion, my care, my knowledge, and love somebody, then I'm not really living. Please don't let me sentence and have another death by not having somebody to love. I don't got a car to get around. Can you please have him come by court appointment so that I can pour out my love upon that person? Wow. Silence in the courtroom. Number 3, I want someone to help me over to that man so I can hug him and love him, so that he knows that my words are not in vain and they're not empty, but that I truly love and that I truly care. As they helped this little woman over, she held onto her cane. She went to hug him, and the guy passed out. Across that South African courtroom, it began to be the tremors and a revolution in families and lives. All these people, all these black people grabbed these white people's hands that had been known for so much bad things towards the African community, the black African community, and they began to sing Amazing Grace, Amazing Grace, Amazing Grace all around that courtroom. And as a result, that woman's story began to get out into communities and change the way people thought, the way people lived. They began to forgive their oppressors and forgive things. As a result, the poverty-stricken areas became rich again. Who am I talking to today where you've held on to so much hurt? So much pain, and it's real, and it's hindering you from seeing opportunities and moments that right now you can maximize and take your life to a whole nother level, spiritually, relationally, emotionally, financially, and you can't see it because you're stuck in a moment you can't get out. Who's starving for your mercy, starving for your forgiveness? Last, I would say, what else do I need to minimize? Routines, because you can get stuck in routines where you lose your edge, your advantage. You can say, I did things in the past a certain way, but as a result, I'm going to do it some more in the future. How many know if you do what you've always done, you won't get what you've always got? How many know if you want different, you've got to do different? Dick Fosbury in 1967, a high jumper, he said, I plateaued. I reached as high as I could go. I reached as high as I could go in my field. I couldn't jump any further. But then he said, you know what? I'm going to have to change a little things. How many know small shifts can make a massive difference? When I go golf with Frank Socially, a friend of mine, we go golf, he said if you hit a little bit like an inch to the left or an inch to the right, it changes not just the direction, but the destination of the golf ball. I think that's so true in life. A small shift in your business, your approach, a small shift in the way you share products, a small shift in the way you engage with your customers, a small shift in the way you take care of your life and culture, as a result makes a massive difference. This guy said, I've done what I've done, I can't get any further, so I'm going to try something different. He decided to be the first guy that would jump with his head first, his neck first. He would jump backwards rather than with his feet. As a result, he found he could go so much further. At the beginning, everybody said, they called it the Dick Fosbury flop, because they said it will never hold up. But what happened was revolutionary. He changed the way people did it. He changed the way people got engaged with their jumping and their skills and their development, all because he was willing to bet on himself and try something he never tried before. What are routines that keep you frustrated? What are routines that you keep holding on to that if they don't change, nothing's going to change, because your destiny is down to your daily routines, right? Your habits are what you do consistently, what you think about, how you engage with people, how you talk to people, how you communicate. What habits hold you back? What routines limit your life and limit your ability? If we're talking about mastering the moment and maximizing this moment, we got to know what to minimize. Why? Because you can only go so high with so much weight on board. I can't get on an airplane tomorrow and get to my altitude if I got too much weight on board. If you're going to be effective, you got to be very selective in what you choose to take on and what you choose to ignore. In fact, let me say it, success is defined by what you choose to ignore. Opportunities are endless. How many know that's true? How many know that's true? So let's go there. So we minimize the moment. Now we got to master the moment. Someone say master the moment. Come on, say it like you got energy. That means you got to take charge of this moment. You got to engage in this moment. How do you engage? I know that when I'm in Africa, a lion does not engage for 18 hours of the day. They're the most lazy creatures on this planet. I love watching the Animal Planet because I love watching lions and them attack the zebra and eat up the water buffalo and go after even lions. An average size animal that for 18 hours a day, they're tame. They sit there, you can make faces at them, you can throw gum at them, You can do a lot of stuff on a safari and they don't move. And you're like, this is not what I envisioned. I envisioned them chasing something down, eating it, killing it. I wanted to watch them tear apart an animal. But something happens at night. That hunger of that animal awakens that animal. And when the hunger awakens that lion, he becomes notified. He's known as the king of the jungle. It's not his size that awakens him in his engagement. It's the hunger on the inside of him. When he does, he begins to prowl. He's not like a pussycat. A pussycat purrs, but then just go chase little things, right? They chase shiny things. That's why they become roadkill. Come on, somebody. You know what I'm talking about. Lions got a different hunger. When I watch lions in the African jungles, they don't go chase turtles. They don't go chase cobras. They don't chase squirrels. They chase something that's going to satisfy it, that is going to reward its effort, its energy. If you're going to maximize this moment right now, you got to get a little hungrier than you currently are. Leaders should be the most hungry, passionate people on the source of this planet. But most people's hunger has been dulled, where they settle for little things of this, little things of that. They dabble their way through life and never decide to master anything because their hunger's become low, it's become weak. But if you wanted to get hungry, how would that change your engagement with this business, this opportunity, with your family, your life? Hunger happens when you say, if I'm in the same place I am 6 months from now, am I going to be good with it? If I'm in the same place I am physically 6 months from now, am I going to be good with that? Sometimes that can bring a little bit of pain, but pain's a great motivator. I don't want to come back here. If you're in the same place you are a year from now, because you're going to arrive, the question is where, and you come back to this, it's going to be 10,000 people in this place, and you say, if you're in the same place financially, and you did nothing with the opportunity, are you going to feel good about that? Is it going to make you feel good? Or will you've been lost time, and traction, and money, and resource opportunity? But hunger happens too when you compare yourself with the next version of yourself. I was in Michael Jordan's place one day and it said on his wall, all I ever knew was I never wanted to be average. He said, I never competed against another basketball player. I never competed against another team. I always competed against the next version of myself. He said, I did that because if I looked at what other people were doing, I could never maximize my own potential. It would always be limited by what other people are doing. If my life was too precious to depend upon what somebody else is doing, I knew I would cheat myself. So the way I got myself to stay hungry and keep developing was I challenged myself with the next version of myself. I had a vision for the kind of person I wanted to become. Hunger also happens when you get around hungry people. You get around people that are hungry to have healthy bodies, you want to eat better. You want to get around people that want to take their health to another level. Come on, you get around Vasayo people that are going to keep giving you a bunch of antioxidants, a bunch of sleep, a bunch of energy, and you want to do something better with your health. You want to get around things where you want to make more money. You get around people that are making money, it makes you hungry to learn skills and things that allow you to become more effective and do greater business to make more money. I don't know about you, when I want to stir up my own game, I get around people that are getting higher results than me. They have higher standards. Why? Because usually most people don't want to get around because they feel bad about themselves. I think that's why Jerry Springer's show did so good. People have such low standards, they enjoy watching it. They made them feel good about their life. But when you get around people that have decided to do something with life and live it with passion, live it with intent, live it with purpose, live it with drive, live it in a way that would honor their creator, something happens. You take your life, come on, just doing barely getting by, doing whatever, and you put energy and passion, you become a source of real change on the planet. I don't know about you, if your life's going to change, it's going to be dependent upon the people you're around. But to master this moment, I'm going to ask you a question. This question will give meaning to your life. If you have meaning, you can handle anything. If you don't have any meaning, anything is too hard. You always find an excuse why you can't and why you won't. But it will also simplify your life. It will determine what you do and what you don't do, what you say yes to and what you say no to. But it will also focus your life. I don't know about you, the most potent people that I see on this planet are most focused. People that have healthy bodies, they're most focused there. People that have great relationships, they're most focused there. Wherever you put your attention, things grow. How many know that's true? You focus on eating a lot of food, your stomach grows. You focus on having a passionate marriage, it's amazing, you can have one. You focus on living and depositing great things into your kids because it's not what you give to them, it's what you leave in them. You smile, come on somebody. How many know you make a difference in the way they engage life? My question for you to master this moment, take charge of this moment is, what deserves you? It's a question I've asked myself for the last 12 months. What deserves me? Things are coming at me and things are coming at you at all times. What deserves me? It's a question. You know, in school, when they gave you a true and false, you had a 50-50 chance of getting something right. I love those because I didn't study very well. If they gave me the essay test, I had a chance to rewrite the question a bunch of times to try to fool a teacher that I knew the answer. But the ones that I hated and the ones that you hated were the fill in the blank, because you either knew the answer or you didn't know the answer. I'm curious, what would your life be about? What would you say deserves you now? You only have so much time, and this year's going to count. Your moments can be magnificent in the next 6 months, or they can be mundane, but it will be determined by how you fill in the blanks. I am, this is who I am, this is what I'm about, this is what deserves me. What deserves you right now? You have an opportunity here. How do you know? Because I saw it. I had a chance to be a part of some previous companies with Dallin and be able to speak. I speak for many companies in this industry all around, but I've always turned down the opportunity to come into the field and look at a business opportunity and say yes. I was afraid of the stigma. I was afraid of isolating myself from speaking at other companies. I didn't want to do that because that hurts financially, that hurts a lot of relationships. But when I began to look at the track record, I started looking and talking with Frank Socianick, with Rick Gutman. We started talking about ideas, the track record of Dallin and Carey. We started looking at the opportunity and what it could do. I started talking to Corbin and Holly. I started looking at ideas of how this could work and maximize influence. I said, my life deserves this. My life deserves a passionate yes. This is a way to add value to so many different people that cannot grow through me financially and healthy. Yeah, I can hand out product, but until this becomes a focal point, I'll dabble with it. I'll flirt with it. I'll dabble with it, but never master anything. I don't know about you. I don't want to dabble with things anymore. I'm working against the clock like you are. We're all fighting against the clock, and we don't know when that clock's up. But I know one thing, I don't want it just to be about success. I want it to be about, as Dallin talked about earlier, significance. I want my moments to count. I want when I invest my time, my energy. When I go and put myself in that, when I go into that graveyard, I want to know that I gave myself towards things that were significant. I didn't chase money, I chased destiny. I put myself in an environment to win and people that are connected to me, where they would win. So I said, what deserves me? And I started writing things down in my life. This deserves me. It's a question of worth and a question of wealth. If you don't see much value in yourself, you won't add much value to yourself. If you misdiagnose you, you'll mistreat you. That's a really good nugget. I'll buy my own CD just because of that. Smile, even if you got 3 teeth. Try it. Come on. Make sure you're all out there, people. Come on. What deserves you? What will you be about? And if you filled in the blanks, would you tell yourself or the people around you that you will be an appreciating asset or a depreciating one? If we were to take an inventory and you were to come back and give me an answer and say, from this moment forward, this is what deserves my life. This is what I'm going to be about. This is what I'm going to deliver to the world. This is the kind of person I'm going to be. I'm raising the bar. I'm leveling up for the kind of person I really know I am. Based on the answer you give, would you tell your family to invest in you? If you were to become a stock on the stock market tomorrow, and based on that answer, would you tell people to invest in you, that you're an appreciating asset or a depreciating one? Would you tell people, I kind of play, I'm cool, whatever, you know, I'm indifferent, yeah, I'm neutral, whatever? How many know nothing good happens by accident? You can catch a disease, but you can't catch health. How many know that's true? What would you tell people? What would you define? For those of you that are a little more spiritual, the proverb says the mind of a man plans his way, that God directs his steps. And if you don't got a plan, you got nothing for God to direct. You wonder and wander, like Helen Keller said, what's worse than being born blind? Having sight with no vision. I talk to so many people all the time, they have no vision for where they want to go, what they want to create, what they want to experience, what they want to contribute. They're hoping something good just happens to them. That's a weak way to live a sturdy life. I don't know about you, I want to plan something. I want to plan that when I walk out of here, this is what I'm going to do with my opportunity. This is what I'm going to be about. This is the value I'm going to give people. This is what I'm going to share. This is what I'm going to create. This is what I'm going to contribute. The question is, what are you going to do? It's not just about you. If it's all about you, it's all about just success. I don't believe that. I believe other people are waiting to see what you're going to say to your life. Your life needs a passionate yes. And if your dreams, or I should say, if your dreams are smaller than your current reality, then I would say, watch, you're dying. If your dreams, your memories are bigger than your dreams, you're dying. You're drying inside. Maybe your death certificate won't say for 30 more years, but you can say I plateaued in 2016 and I became a product of my society. I let the government decide what happens to me. I let other people decide what happens to me. Come on, that ain't the powerful you. You were put on this planet to take charge of life and destiny and to maximize your moments. Somebody believe that up in here? Give me a clap and a shout. You deserve what? You deserve what? You deserve what? Once you have a mission control, what you're going to master in your life, then you have the ability to say, you know what? For the next 30 days, here's one action I'm going to take. What's one meaningful goal that for the next 30 days when you walk out of here, are you going to start sharing with customers? Are you going to start sharing the opportunity in no profound way? Are you going to be able to start going with other people and doing two-way calls, three-way calls, as I talked about on the panel up here? Are you going to do like boiler rooms and blitz rooms, where you get in a room and say, you know what? I'm a little bit too chicken to do it by myself, but if I get around the right culture and the atmosphere, I can share this opportunity. Imagine 6,000 people for the next 30 days that if we shared what we have on our hands, we can double and triple our industry, our company within this industry, all by becoming very intentional of what something we would do for the next 30 days. You're the CEO of your life and your business. What will you do? What will you do? Will you become a product of the products? What will you do in your relationships? Will you just hope that they get better and have more passion, more connection, more involvement? Or could you maybe revisit what brought you guys together? Maybe you could reassociate your feelings of connection with the people that you love and you care about. Maybe you could reinforce who people are in your eyes. You know what I love about this? I love about this whole day, and I was watching some of the speakers speak up here. They reinforce constantly who people are in their eyes. People that succeed, they have a way to speak words of life into people so people see themselves beyond where they currently are. Remember something, people will rise to your level of confession. You talk to a poor person, they act poor. You talk to a poor person, but you talk to them in a rich way, they act rich. People rise to your level of confession. Why? Because your words are containers of life and death, blessing and cursing. They can bring health and they can wound people. You have the ability to change the atmosphere of your business, change the atmosphere of your family, all by the words you speak and the questions you ask. You ask bad questions, you get a bad answer. You ask somebody, how do you want to take charge of your health and really maximize this area in your life right now? I guarantee they'll give you a good answer. If you ask, hey, would you like to join my company and want to just look at some products? I bet they'll look at you like you're a salesperson. But if you ask them about their life and what they care about, what their dreams are, people talk, and what comes out of their heart comes out of their mouth. You have a way to serve them. Don't fall so in love with your product that you don't fall in love with your client. Make sure that you serve them with the best thing and you have the best tools in your hand to improve people. Remember something, people don't buy products are unemotional. They buy emotion. What I love about these products, and this is my buy-in, to be honest with you, on a company level, to build a business, and I'm proud of the business we're building, by the way. Let me say this, that our products let you feel something instantaneous. How many of you get an incredible feeling from your products? Lift your hands up high. You get a feeling. Come on, just a little bit of movement somewhere, somehow. You get a little movement there? Okay, now you feel it. Think about this. You're in a driver's seat to build a business this way. Why? I'm probably not supposed to stand right here on the seat, but whatever. Anyways, I got the mic for 5 more minutes. Watch. People buy emotion, they buy a feeling. You have something in your hand that God can multiply and can increase the health. That is a $1 trillion industry that people are investing in. And you have the opportunity to build something that will last, to enrich your family, to watch that family just win a car, but to watch the investment level and they see hope and opportunity, and you can be the ones. Think about how proud those people are that decided to put that pack in those people's hands. They had a goal. They had a goal that daily they're going to get out something. So you watch, I got a couple minutes, gotta make sure you're happening. I got 4:49, here we go. You gotta minimize the moment. Someone say minimize the moment. Come on, say it like you got energy. Put a little light in this room, please. I want to see those people in the cheap seats, so put a little light for me. You gotta minimize the moment. That means you gotta be willing to let some things go. How many are willing to walk away from some things so we can step into some new things? Come on, this is your own life. I'm fighting for your life. This isn't for a paycheck. This isn't for anything. This is for your soul. This is for your life. Somebody needs you to be the best you. Someone needs you to take charge of your destiny. Someone needs you to challenge yourself. Someone needs you to get a little bold, get a little big on the inside. Someone needs you to take back your life. Stop complaining and blaming about things you can change. But then we got to master. It's not enough to go through recovery. We got to get into discovery. How are we going to master this moment? If you're going to say, I want you to be able to say, you know what? If I invested in Rex right now, and what deserves him, what he's going to be about, that's it. I'm going to get some return on that. I'm going to invest in that. And I'm going to get an appreciation on what I invest. How many believe that this is a great time to reevaluate your life? A life unexamined is not worth it. How many feel like it's worth reinventing? Look at all the thousands of hands in here. Imagine the power in this room that if we all said, you know what deserves me now? What deserves my energy? What deserves my time? Who deserves my love? Who deserves who deserves me? Do I give my time and my energy to what divides me or what deserves me? What divides me or what deserves me? What divides me or what deserves me? And finally, watch. You master the moment, now you got to maximize the moment. Listen, Batman had Robin. Come on. Batman had Robin. I believe not one of us can succeed to the degree and reach our destiny unless we have other people that are willing to help us get there and launch us into our destiny. There is power in numbers. Joint efforts yield better results. You need an environment that will celebrate you, but not just leave you celebrated, but will cultivate you. Why? Because you're only as good as the environment you're in. You walk with wise people, you become wise. You hang out with fools, come on, you life unravel. I think we need a can of like foolproofs. Come on, somebody. And every time you get around a fool, come on, you spray them. Psst. Come on, somebody. I pity the fool, Mr. T said. Mr. T said, I pity the fool. Come on. Fools know what to do, what's right, but they deliberately ignore it in favor of their excuses. That BS, those belief systems they tell themselves that keep themselves stuck. I'd like to, but, come on somebody. I'd like to build a business, but. I'd like to take care of my health, but. I'd like to be more loving, but. I'd love to dream. I'd love to get up there and I want to go to Hawaii with Dallas, but. I'm curious, how big is your butt? Maybe you adopted somebody else's butt. We'll call that a butt implant. Come on somebody. Power in numbers. Sometimes all you got is somebody to agree, someone to lock arms with you. When I did this, I didn't want to go into it by myself because isolation sickness. Sometimes other people know things you don't know. I wanted to call and find answers. Yeah, I speak to these people all the time about their soul and their heart, but I need to find things out. Why? Because the people closest to you in any endeavor either weaken your drive or strengthen your drive. They either dull you or they sharpen you. I want people to make me around me more sensitive. I want people to sharpen the way I love people, the way I care, the way I dream, the way I think, the way I pray, the way I engage with my life. This isn't an act on a stage. You get around me, this is the way I live my life. I live it with full intensity. But I think part of that is the reason why I get around people that live life and they challenge themselves and it sharpens you. What's awesome about this atmosphere, think of the miracles that could grow out of here if you were around these people for the next 7 days. You would walk out of here just like you're going to do in a minute, completely different. You think different. When I hang out with a friend of mine recently, he does a lot of Oprah Winfrey. He makes me think in different terms. He doesn't make me think in a small dimension. He makes me think of what could I do? How could I create? What could I challenge? I came across a story, and I think I'll end with this. And let me say this story real quick. I recently read The Power of a Partnership in the New York Marathon. There was a guy that was blind and a guy that was deaf. One guy couldn't hear and the other guy couldn't see, but they were both determined to run the marathon. They did something powerful. They grabbed a rubber band and they put it between them. So the one person, when he couldn't hear, he would pull. When the other person didn't know where he was going, the other guy would pull. They couldn't do it independently, but they could do it together. They couldn't do it independently, but they could do it together. There's synergy and there's strength in where you share, and there's a partnership. And I end with this. There's a woman by the name of Penny Shepherd. Penny Shepherd, for 28 years, suffered with severe pain in her body, to the point it became debilitating. She had children, and the pain with bone was rubbing on bone. And you had that experience, it's horrific. She was on so many medications, OxyContin, and all these different things. She would beg for God for answers, for a miracle, for all these things over the years, and nothing happened. It got to the point where her husband would have to carry her in to wash her hair out in the sink. She couldn't walk, she could not stand for months. She would sit there in agonizing pain day in and day out. She got to the point where she was ready to check out on life. She thought, there's no promise, there's no potential. The things I desired, they can't come to pass. It's over for me. But one day she said, well, everybody had left. Her husband taking the kids to school. She prayed, God, please give me a miracle. Please give me a miracle. Please, I'll do anything. She heard an audible voice inside of her room. It's a documented story, been on TV. Penny said she heard this voice say, run to your miracle. She said, run. I can't stand, I can't walk. She heard it again. Run to your miracle. She was startled. She called her husband real fast. I just heard I'm supposed to run to my miracle. He says, what are you talking about? You can't even stand. Call me and call the doctor, get an appointment. I need to know if he's going to agree to run this miracle with me because I got to go run to my miracle. He says, babe, are you okay? Did you take too much medication? Are you all right? Isn't that what happens? Watch, you get an invitation, then all the things go in your mind to give you limitation. Oh, here's why you can't work. Oh my gosh, that person did it and it worked. Oh my gosh, you got a couple little negative talk you out. Come on, somebody. You get a couple pussycats to knock your roar out. Come on. And so you sit there going, purr, purr. There's a flipping roar in you. Watch how cool is this. She goes to the doc and she says, listen, I don't want to know the facts. I need to know, will you in faith partner with me? I got to run to my miracle. God said I got to run to my miracle. He goes, God said, listen, I'm not asking you for your opinion. I have conviction. All I need you to do is partner and teach me how to run. She goes, you can't walk. What are you thinking about running? A block? She goes, no. Before I got here, I signed myself up to run a marathon, 26 miles in 4 months. Get me ready. She said every day they put her body and make it work. See, watch, sometimes it don't feel right. But thank God you're not what you feel, you're what you decide. Her body was in pain, but she had a machine that moved her every day for 4 months. They got her to the starting line, and they carried her there. And they said, listen, you got here. And once the gun went off, she started to take a step, and she said, all the pain left. She started screaming. Documented story, she started screaming. She said, all the pain's gone, all the pain's gone, all the pain's gone. And her husband's like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Her church support was all there. Everyone was all excited for her. You got your miracle, you got your miracle. They said, stop. They said, stop. You don't have to run anymore. Just come home, the doctor said. She says, no, 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 no. She says, God didn't give me a miracle just to get to this place. He gave me a miracle that I can run for other people. That my life can be more for other people. It can inspire other people. It can change for other people. In the interview they asked her, they said, Penny, was it when you got your miracle? Was it when you finished? She goes, no, I got my miracle the day I decided to start running. She said it didn't feel right. He said it hurt like hell. Come on, somebody. She said there was pain involved, but my pain became my power because I evaluated that it wasn't based on what was around me, but I was going to make a decision within me that from this moment, I'm going to run to my miracle. Be like the little boy in church. Every time the pastor spoke, that little boy got up and goes, yeah, 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 preach it. Right there, you know that. Come on, you know they ain't white church. Come on, somebody. He got up 3 times and did it. Finally, his mama said, listen, you do that again, I'm taking your Wii. Come on, those video games. Away for a month. That little boy was ticked. Put his arms in his pants and he was ticked. Gave him an attitude up in church. And then his mama started to egg him on to see what you do. And he goes, what? A couple of little minutes later. He says, I might be sitting down on the outside, but I'm jumping, I'm standing, and I'm shouting on the inside. You can't do nothing because I'm not doing nothing on the outside. I'm shouting and jumping on the inside, and you can't do nothing about that. Vasayo family, listen, there's power together. Can I have our founders? Do you mind coming up here, Chad and Carrie? Do you mind, you guys coming up, Daniel and Angela? Can you mind coming up, Dan, please, with your wife? Let's do something real cool. Let's do something really cool. There's power in numbers. How many believe this? How many are ready to take your life to a whole other level? How many are ready to challenge yourself? How many are ready to not just come to something Vasayo, but you're ready to see Vasayo live inside of you? How many are ready to become a product of the product and take charge of your business, your relationship? How many know that the truth, even when Stanford teaches medical, they say that there's power when you're together because we're wired for connection and contribution. And when you're together with other people that are based on your dreams, not your dreads, your immune system gets strengthened. You smile more. The 10% happiest people on the earth are people a part of a culture that dreams together, that does things together, that lives together, that loves together, that forgives together. Your ability to bounce back from setbacks and challenges multiplies because of the atmosphere and the culture you create. I want everybody to stand up and just maybe as a little thing we talked about, let's just lock arms. Everybody just lock arms in this place. Lock arms with somebody. Come on, cross the aisles. Just do it. Who cares about the ushers?